The scariest thing Turkey can do to the United States is not score early. It is make the game feel normal. Normal tempo, normal possession, normal midfield passes, normal little fouls, normal corners, normal pressure. And then suddenly, the USA are not playing their match anymore. They are playing Turkey's. That is the trap inside USA versus Turkey. Not that Turkey are a bigger football nation than the United States. Not that Turkey should be favorites. Not that this is some impossible mountain. The trap is more subtle than that. Turkey are good enough, technical enough, and irritating enough to drag the match into the exact kind of rhythm the USA should not want. On June 25th, in Los Angeles, the United States play Turkey in the final match of Group D. By then, the table will tell one story. Maybe the USA need a win to top the group. Maybe they need a result to make the knockout path cleaner. Maybe they have already done enough, but still need to look like a host team in control of its own tournament. The exact math can change. The football problem does not. The USA need control. Turkey are built to test control. That is what makes this game interesting. Not pressure in the abstract, not a generic host country speech. The actual match problem. Can the United States play fast without becoming rushed? Can they attack with numbers without leaving the middle of the field open? Can they press without giving Arda Güler the space behind the press? Can they use the crowd without letting the crowd make them impatient? Because Turkey are not just a vibes team, that is the lazy version. Yes, Turkish football can be emotional. Yes, the games can become dramatic. Yes, the crowd can make everything feel louder than it should. But this Turkey side are dangerous because the emotion is sitting on top of real football. Hakan Çalhanoğlu can slow a game down from deep. He can change the angle of an attack with one pass. He can make a match that looks chaotic suddenly feel organized. Arda Güler is the opposite problem. He does not need to control the whole field. He just needs one pocket. One receiving angle between the midfield and the center backs. One moment where the American midfield steps forward and the back line does not squeeze quickly enough. That is when the game becomes dangerous. Because Arda does not play like someone waiting for permission. He turns. He sees the pass early. He can shoot from distance. He can make defenders hesitate. And hesitation is where this match can tilt. Then there is Kenan Yıldız, who can drift and receive in awkward spaces. Orkun Kökçü, who gives Turkey another passer. Ferdi Kadıoğlu, who can push the fullback zone higher and make the USA winger defend deeper than he wants. Barış Alper Yılmaz, who gives them running power if the match opens. This is not the profile of a team that just sits, prays, and counters. Turkey want the ball. They want rhythm. They want the match to become a technical argument. And that is why the USA have to be careful. Because the American team are at their best when the game has energy. When Christian Pulisic can receive and drive. When Tim Weah can stretch the field. When Anthony Robinson can arrive on the outside. When Folarin Balogun can attack space before the defense is set. When Gio Reyna can get on the ball facing forward. When Weston McKennie and Tyler Adams can make the game feel like a duel the USA are winning. But against Turkey, every aggressive choice has a cost. If the fullbacks fly forward, who protects the counter-attack lane? If the midfield presses too high, who tracks Arda between the lines? If the USA try to win the match in the first 20 minutes, who calms it down when Turkey survive the first wave? This is the part casual viewers miss. The danger is not only Turkey scoring a great goal, the danger is Turkey making the USA take worse shots, worse touches, and worse fouls. A rushed cross, a frustrated tackle, a cheap set piece, a bad clearance, a second ball at the top of the box. That is how a host team loses control without realizing it. Turkey have already shown the tournament version of themselves. At Euro 2024, they were wild and compelling. Arda Güler scored a spectacular goal against Georgia. Merih Demiral scored twice against Austria. Mert Günok made the kind of late save that turns a knockout match into mythology. Then Turkey led the Netherlands in a quarter-final before the game got away from them. That is the whole warning in one tournament. They can hurt serious teams. They can make the moment feel huge. They can also leave space behind themselves. So the USA do not need to fear Turkey like they would fear France or Argentina. They need to respect the specific ways Turkey can make the match uncomfortable. And if you are watching this game, there are 3 things to look for. First, watch where Arda receives the ball. Do not just watch whether he has the ball, watch where he gets it. If he's taking touches near the touchline with his back to goal, the USA can live with that. If he is receiving between the lines, half-turned, with runners ahead of him, that is a problem. That means the American midfield and defense are not connected. Second, watch the USA's first pass after winning the ball. That pass will tell you whether the game is theirs. If they win it and immediately find Pulisic, Reina, Weah or Balogun in space, Turkey are in trouble. If they win it and have to pass backward because Turkey have crowded the center, then the match is slowing into Turkey's rhythm. And third, watch the set pieces, corners, free kicks, long deliveries, loose clearances. Turkey do not need to dominate 90 minutes if they can turn 5 dead balls into 5 moments of fear. For the USA, that means discipline matters as much as speed. The best version of this American team is not just fast, it is controlled fast. It knows when to accelerate and when to make Turkey defend for another 30 seconds. It knows when the crowd wants a hero ball and the match needs a simple pass. It knows that World Cup control is not always dramatic. Sometimes it is refusing to take the bait. That is the real test here. Not whether the USA can survive Turkey's talent. They can. Not whether Turkey are secretly one of the tournament favorites. They are not. The question is whether the United States can avoid playing the version of the game Turkey won. Because Turkey's path is clear. Make it technical. Make it emotional. Make it stop-start. Make the USA defend second balls. Make the crowd feel the first mistake. Make the host team rush. If Turkey can do that, this stops being a comfortable group stage finale. It becomes a trap. And the thing about traps is that they rarely look dangerous at first. They look manageable. They look familiar. They look like a game the host country should control until the rhythm changes, until the midfield stretches, until Arda finds the pocket, until Çalhanoğlu starts conducting, until one set piece hangs in the air and the stadium realizes the match is no longer behaving. That is why USA versus Turkey is worth watching closely. Not because it is the biggest game on the schedule, because it might be the game where America learns whether its World Cup team can stay calm when the story gets messy.